Good morning, my beautiful Daikinis. Today I'm actually recording on my computer because I just finished a Zoom session and I have another one, another client healing after I'm recording this. Um, First of all, how are you? How is everyone doing? I pray that this video finds you amazing, that you find the ways to connect with your goddess, your own goddess and your matron goddess, and you receive the messages and the guidance and the instructions so that you can actually see real transformation in your life. Just know that I love you all. Every time I see you in a session, I just wish I could, leave my body and go and do the work for you. Unfortunately, it's not possible. Um, and I deeply, deeply, deeply love all of my daikinis. Um, I'm a little bit emotional. I'm doing this video, as you saw the title, because I've received many emails, sorry, in the past couple of weeks, the past month. And first of all, thank you, because I have many, many, many new Dakinis who are purchasing the mantra album, or individual mantras for their manifestation. And because a lot of you are new or just finding out about my work, instead of emailing you individually, which I don't have the logistical resources to do, just even physically or time and all of that. So I figured I would just make a video and answer the most basic question, which is, how do I use the mantras? There are many ways to use the mantras, okay? But first of all, what are mantras? Mantras are energy words, light language words, the most ancient human systemized light code languages that we know of here on Earth. And those sacred languages, ancient sacred languages, there are many. Most of them are either languages that you speak. The most ancient languages spoken by indigenous tribes. Of course, Latin, ancient Arabic, Aramean, for those who speak it, ancient Chinese, Gaelic or Celtic languages. So, and of course, Sanskrit, which for us Venusians, somehow Venusians have a real close attachment to Hinduism. A lot of us Venusians actually incarnated at the time of the Vedas, and a lot of Venusian goddesses actually had an impact. So, for example, Lalita Tripura Sundari is a Venusian. And in other cultures, the Queen of Sheba, Zepa, is a Venusian. Hathor is a Venusian. There are many, 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 many more. And actually, there are other, there are Martians, there are Pleiadians, Arcturians, all kinds of other dimensional entities, beings that have chosen to incarnate at one point or another on Earth. So long story short, a mantra is a sacred language. And as I'm saying this, Oshun is telling me Yoruba is also a sacred language, and I failed to say it, but yes, of course it is. How do you use mantras, Sanskrit mantras that I have put together with the help and the channeling of my Venusian goddess sisters, because the inspiration really comes from them. The tunes, the choice of even the mantras, the ones that I would put and turn into single music, or even the album, the Bed Mantra album, it comes from there. I can only take credit for my ability to be one with them and to channel that information the most pristine way I can and bring it to you with as much technology efficiency as I can so that it is enjoyable to you. The point of my mantras is to stem away from the notion of traditional, which is not a bad thing, okay? But I am not a Hindu, I am not Indian, I do not belong to that tradition, even though I have been initiated in Hindu mysticism and Tantra, but in other traditions as well. My role is to be a vehicle, a messenger through which women who embark in the path of becoming sacred feminines, transforming into their goddess aspect, they can come through me to have the tools which they can implement in their modern day life routine and make every single one of their ritual a goddess ritual, because it is very basic. If I embody a god, my goddess, if I meet with my goddess on a daily basis, if I am one with my goddess on a daily basis, and I let my goddess self speak, quieting down the voice of ego, which is usually fear, unworthiness, anger, envy, feeling less than, feeling like you don't belong. Basically, getting kicked out of my own throne. um, that is when I am not manifesting from the point of view of the goddess. Because you're always manifesting. That's what the word. That's why the word itself doesn't mean anything. How to manifest ABC? You're always manifesting. It's just from which perspective are you manifesting? From which of your beings are you manifesting? As you know, the body is a temple. A temple can be clean, unclean, unsanitized, unpure. It could be full of noise. It could be, it's still this vehicle. So which aspect am I allowed to really invade my body's space in order to make it a sacred temple and manifest only from the perspective of being a sacred entity? So, in terms of the mantras, they're part of the daily ritual of every single woman who aspires to live in her sacred feminine, meaning not acting from the wounded space, not acting from a place of scarcity, not acting from a place of equations and strategies, logic. When my clients tell me things like, I've been wanting to do this, I've been attracted to this. However, I know that, and then they start giving me all kinds of reasons, false truths, that their ego, which basically is a group of spirits that need to be in that space, that temple of yours, because they need a home. So they've been telling you things to confuse you so that because if your goddess invades your space, there's no room for egos. There's no room for fear. There's no room for, any kind of monster entities, which is what they are. So mantras should be part of your daily practice as much as possible, at least once a day. And especially if you're working with my potions, especially if you're working with any of my tools, if you're doing Yoni worship, the Yoni worship practices that I teach my clients, all of that. If you Moan, if you have read my books, Addicted to Pleasure, the Goddess Formula to Manifest Our Most Capricious Desires. Shameless plug. But it's very basic. It's about feeling good in your body. It's about owning your throne. It's about seeing yourself in goddess eyes. And goddesses come in different shapes and forms and colors, just like in the whole cosmos and all of the cosmoses correct me in the comment section. How do you say cosmos in plural in English? Because each goddess comes from a specific talent, a specific healing power. So some of them in iconography will have 4 hands because each of them represent a talent, something that they bring to you. You know, some of them come with tails, like fish tails, and some of them come with wings. Some of them come in different colors of the skin. Some even have scales on the face. Some of them have extremely long hair. Some others have no hair. Some of them have shiny hair. Some of them have very black hair. So it's the same for us. There is no one shape, one body, one language, one talent. It's about connecting to your goddess and understanding what makes you authentic, what is your healing power, and thriving in that. Sorry, this is not like actually I never prepare my videos, but then I'm just speaking. How do you practice mantras? The simplest way, when you purchase from me, you're going to practice twice a day. In the morning, always practice your mantras with some sort of neuro-linguistic reprogramming of the subconscious mind ritual, whether it is tapping or affirmations, visualization. Try to create a combo, which is what I do with my clients, is really create a ritual that fits them on a daily basis and good affirmations that fit them as well. So that you give a destination to your mantras when you channel the goddess. You're going to do the mantras. Okay, so you sit, you get out of bed. Don't do the mantras in the place where you sleep, because the place where you sleep is a place where you sleep. A place where you do quote unquote manifestation, exercises, or rituals, it has to be a different place. It could even be just on the floor of your bed if you don't have a huge space. Make yourself comfy, but not too comfortable. Mantras should be recited seated, or danced. If you really connect to the tantra, to the energy, okay, to your womb and yoni energy, which is by definition, I talked about it in my book. If you have false programming about the notion of pleasure as it relates to spirituality, definitely read my book. It's a basic 101, when you start manifesting. A good, easy guide written by a non-English speaker who means well. So you sit on the floor, or you sit somewhere where you're comfortable, and you're going to stay silent for 5-10 minutes. Get comfortable with the notion of silence. If you feel like it, get a candle. By default, get a white candle. Put an intent of bringing the deity with you in that space. Thank the deity for being there. If you use a specific mantra which has a specific deity, for example, Lalita Tripura Sundari mantra, goddess worshipped by gods, then use white, golden, or orange. I'm just gonna work really on that, on the Swadhisthana chakra, the sexual chakra. Parvati, you can use red candle. She loves red as well. White is always a good thing. White, yellow, gold. Those are usually Venusian, pink, of course. Those are Venusian colors usually. Soft, if you want soft transformation, or if you want to go with passionate change, full of sensuality, you go with the most luscious color candle that you can find. It's always about intent anyways. And then when you're done, you light your candle, you close your eyes and you stay there in meditation. You start breathing through your womb. You breathe intentionally. And then you're gonna put your mantras, and you're gonna sing along the mantras. My mantras last between 12, 13, 15 minutes to like 20 minutes. 30 minutes for the long ones, like the Parvati, I think is the longest. Actually, the Ambudhi Shakti Kundalini Awakening one is also pretty. You sit there for the time that you need to be there, okay? It's the time between you and your goddess, and you're going to sing along the mantra. And you can even write an intention if you want. Every day having an intention is good. You don't have to change. Actually, keep the same intention, or maybe do the intentions weekly. Sorry, and get comfortable with being in that energy, in the realm, the feel good of, start looking inside and seeing where the mantra is taking you. What are the knots that are created? What are the places where you feel like there's, breakthroughs or aha moment? Be in your body temple. It's really about that. It's about being aware of your goddess. This is the home of your goddess. So be aware. Don't recite the mantras like a parrot necessarily. Like, be in it. Enjoy it. That's why I love my mantras, because they're really beautiful to listen to and to sing and to dance along, to be in that moment with yourself. Try not to do something else, just be there. So many people spend hours and hours watching vlogs or music videos on their computer or on their TV, whatever, on their phone. So what about you? What about having a moment with your goddess? Instead of looking with the human eyes, look inside and start watching that TV that your goddess is showing you, the images of how you should be, how you should transform, the messages that you need to receive. Okay? And you do that, you recite, you sing, you dance, you whatever, you stay in that moment. And then when you're done, you're going to go back to silence. Once the mantra is over, you go back to silence and you start breathing until you're going to feel like you're moaning, because you're breathing in your womb. And my mantras really are about the womb awakening. That kundalini, the serpents are going to start dancing in you. So you're going to feel like something is happening inside. So you're just going to be there in silence until you feel like the energy is rising, and that's when you're gonna moan, and you moan and you moan and you moan, you moan, you moan, you moan. I can't moan here because this is not a public space. It's not a place for me, someone like me, to moan. But you moan the way, with the rage or the sweetness or the sensuality, whatever you feel that day. Moan like it. Moan your creation, the creation. Give birth to your own goddess self. Okay, I tell my clients that my moaning rituals, what we do in my womb healing sessions, for example, it's not about sounding like an adult movie star. Okay, it's not about mimicking, faking. If you don't feel like moaning, if that fire is not within you, then you keep practicing your mantras every day, meaning that you keep meeting your goddess every day until you have harvested enough of that fire to create momentum. Okay, don't fake it. If you don't feel like it, don't feel bad about it. If you just started with mantras, don't feel bad that you're not having this, the urge to. But when you feel the urge to, then really lean into surrender to it. Surrender to your goddess, because she's growing in you. She's taking space within you. If you have my potions, that's when you use my potions, and you're going to get the potion. You're going to use your 3 fingers, because you don't want to contaminate the potion. And you're going to put the first finger and then do the ring of light once. There are many ways you can do the ring of light, but that's one way. Second finger, ring of light. Third finger, ring of light. So you're going to circle your yoni 3 times to seal your magic ritual, and you're off for the day or the night. That's one way. You can also use the mantras. For example, okay, if you have a potion and you're working with, or you're working with a specific deity, that is not, the 2 main ones are Parvati, the Parvati Mantra, devotion mantra, which you always start. Okay, if you only have the Parvati mantra, you only do the Parvati mantra because you're working on Parvati with Parvati. Okay, if you're working, and then sorry, after Parvati, you always have to follow with Om Bhuri Shakti mantra Kundalini, because you have to work always with the goddess and your own goddess. So in my language is your goddess, your own goddess, the one you're attached to, your goddess essence. So you have to wake her up. They have to merge, because the flesh 3D aspect of you cannot be a goddess. Sorry. You know, she's flawed. She has diseases. She looks at herself with the most judgmental eyes of not being enough, not being beautiful enough, not smart enough, not deserving this, not that fleshy aspect of you. You know, you may, you know, lose your hair when you're stressed, and you're just at the mercy of the 3D. You have to awake, you say awake, wake up, you goddess. Actually, I have to go in a couple of minutes. But yes, you work with Parvati. If you only work with Parvati and that's your work, you're dedicating this devotional work to her, you do Parvati, and then you do Om Bhuri Shakti, both of them together. If you're working with Kandev mantra, Tantra mantra, Lalita mantra, Lakshmi mantra, you have to work always in order. Parvati for devotion. You have to show devotion. You have to honor the goddess realm. You start with Parvati. Parvati, 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 the consort of Shiva, which is the notion, even just in symbolism, the notion of awakening the feminine and the masculine, the sacred. So you have that sacred marriage within you. Parvati mantra, Om Bhuri Shakti mantra. Always you start with both of them. And then you're going to do either Kamdev mantra, Rama mantra, become irresistible mantra, Lalita mantra, goddess worship by God. You want to upscale, you want to raise your status, you want to have this royal life, you want to be back on your pedestal, you want to thrive in business, you want to thrive in Lakshmi, cash flow, investments, securing. How do you say in English? A client of mine said that to me a few days ago. Securing the bag. It means nothing to me. Like when I see that, I'm trying to visualize what it means, securing the bag. It feels like someone's going to steal the bag of money from you, which is not the case. It's about understanding that you're tapping into the wealth, infinity of wealth, that it's like a tap. Okay, wealth doesn't stop. You don't need to work to be wealthy. Actually, being rich is very easy. It's very easy. It's the easiest thing. It's just a matter of, do you put being wealthy on the pedestal, or do I put me on the pedestal? If money is on the pedestal, for sure, I make it difficult for me to reach. Then you should work with Lalita Tripura Sundari. If you feel like you're not worthy, you see yourself in flaws, you want to transform your body, transform your life, you work with Lalita Tripura Sundari. You work with the potion, you work with the mantra. And then you start talking to the goddess with whom you're doing the mantras, because this video is specifically for mantras, even though it applies also if you're using the potion. But when you're using the potion, I tell you how to use it, so it's fine, it's easier. But then you ask her, you know, do you want me to do something special? When I recite the mantra, do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do an offering like every so often, every week, maybe once a month, a new moon, full moon? You want me, you know, and then she will tell you whatever she wants you to do. And then you need to start listening. That's why daily attunement is important, because every day when you do, you know, those rituals, it's a way to honor the goddess, to spend time with the goddess, to let the goddess invade you, your goddess to grow, and to be really merged with the transformation that you're seeking. So you become one with the transformation so that you transform without, you know, feeling like there's an effort to make. And then that's when you receive also the divine, you know, the messages. She'll tell you, go this way where you never used to go. Dress this way. Throw this away. Don't eat this. Tuition. Your third eye becomes here, you know, where you have all of your grail, your holy grail, your masculine grail, where you take action is here. Okay, where you create your womb grail, holy grail, feminine is here in your womb. But then here, taking action. To take action, you have to be aware. You have to be one in the moment, and you have to exercise, you know, boundaries. Yeah, you know, all the methods, the how-tos, you receive them because you've created them. It goes up and then it takes shape, and then you get all of the ideas and all of the moves to make from here. So it's always in divine alignment. Okay, I have to go now. See, I have to go. This is my clue. I love you. Manifest lavish imperial opulence, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.